Gentlemen, what is going on today? My name is Ryan Mickler. I am the host and the founder of this podcast and the Order of Man movement. Welcome here. As of the release of this podcast, it is Christmas Day. I hope that you guys are enjoying your Christmas, that you woke up early, or that maybe your kids woke you up early, that you opened up all the presents, you did all the things, and you remember the spirit of the season, why we're celebrating Christmas, Christ's birth. I hope you guys are having a good one. And if you're tuning in on the day this is released, again, Christmas, then maybe you should just not listen today and just go have fun and be present with your family, be available for them. If you've got some downtime and maybe you're trying to escape some extended family, I can certainly understand that. But if you are with your immediate family, just turn this off. Listen to it tomorrow. Okay, guys, just listen to it tomorrow. Be present, be available for your family. That's part of the reason we celebrate this season. Guys, I'm going to talk with you about some of my goals for 2021 today. A lot of you guys are asking what's in the future for Order of Man, what it is we're trying to do. And although I don't have a lot of specifics that I'm going to get into with you today, I'm going to talk with you broadly and generally about what we're trying to do here. And you can decide if rolling into 2021, this is something that you want to be part of, because I'm going to ask that you contribute and that you share and that you do your part as we roll into 2021 to spread the mission of reclaiming and restoring masculinity. And that's what we're doing here, guys. It's not about redefining masculinity. It's not about this new age or this new era of masculinity or trying to make it something that it's not, redefining it. No, we're reestablishing it. We're reclaiming it. We're restoring it to its proper place. What do I mean by its proper place? Well, what I mean, frankly, is the leaders of your home, your businesses, your communities. And my goal, generally and broadly, through this podcast and the other things that we're doing, is to enlist and mobilize an army of moral and capable men. Men who understand and can distinguish between right and wrong. Men who have the physical, mental, and emotional strength and stamina to be able to not only resist what I have dubbed the doctrine of popular culture, but to push forward the idea that men are to lead with honor and class and strength. And that's what we've been doing over the past 6 years. If you guys have been following us for any amount of time, you know that. We've been putting out content via this podcast. We've had incredible guests like Jocko Willink and David Goggins and Andy Frisilla and Tim Kennedy and Dakota Meyer, John Eldridge, Eddie Gallagher. I mean, the guys that we've had on the podcast, you know as well as I do, are absolutely phenomenal men in their respective right. And what I want to do is I want to bring via this podcast the information from these men who have been extremely, extremely successful. Guys like Steven Rinella, who I had on the podcast earlier this week, and take that information, distill it into ideas and insights and practical application that you can apply into your own life so you can lead your family and your community and your business as well. And you know as well as I do that when you look around society and you look around culture and you look around the political climate, it is evident and apparent to me that not only do we live in a completely degenerate society, we live in a society that seems to be increasingly void of any masculine, male, strong, again, moral and capable men to lead not only our families, but our neighbors and our community members, our businesses, and even as we start to get into the political landscape, city council, mayors, governors, senators, representatives, and into higher offices. This is what we need to do. And so as we roll into 2021, I've been thinking a lot about what is it that I'm going to do to contribute to this. I don't want to just be talk. I don't want to just flap my gums and yap at you and tell you all the things that should be. I want to actually add to the solution to the problem. Now let's talk about the problem. The problem is that we have more and more men who are denying and avoiding their responsibility to step up, to honor their commitments and honor their obligations. And so the ramification of this is we see thousands, if not millions, of young boys and girls being raised without a father figure, We see a decline, frankly, in men who are stepping up in their communities to coach, to mentor, to do big brothers, big sisters, to be involved in these charitable organizations. It seems to me, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around this, but the men who get into politics don't seem to be the kind of men, generally, that our country and our society needs. And so a lot of guys have asked me, well, Ryan, are you going to get into politics? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. It's just a matter of when. I don't know if it's now. I don't know if it's in 10 years or 20 years or what it looks like. But the answer is most certainly yes. But for right now, I'm going to be fighting the battle. The front for me is on the cultural war. And the cultural war is a dismissal of masculinity. It's an undermining of masculinity. It's saying that women need to be men in order to be valuable, and that men need to act more like women in order to be acceptable. What a shame that that is generally what we continue to embrace. Again, degenerate society. Having kids outside of wedlock. Not committing to one individual. Not honoring our commitments. Not being loyal. Not leading effectively. Not doing what's right, but what's doing in our own best interest. And again, to reiterate, my goal is to enlist and mobilize you, one of the millions and millions of men who will stand strong, who will stand firm, who want to be bold, who want to be courageous, who want to make yourselves more capable and more proficient at providing income for your family, leading your community, honoring your commitments, and getting us out of the cultural nightmare that we will continue to see ourselves fall into if we don't do something about it. And as much as I feel like at some point I will get into the political arena, right now I feel like I have the greatest impact in sharing not only my message and my words and my thoughts and ideas, but the ideas of the hundreds of men who will join us on the podcast over the next several months and year to give us the information that we need. I've got some absolutely phenomenal guests lined up for the early part, first quarter of 2021. So make sure you subscribe, leave a rating and review. And also what we're going to be doing, guys, is we're going to be introducing new courses that are going to be available online. Some of these courses are going to be paid courses, and other courses are going to be free and accessible to everybody who wants to take advantage of them. Of course, we've got our social media profiles and everything that you can join for free. You can listen to this podcast for free. But there's a cost. There's a cost to you, and I'm going to steal a page from my friend Andy Frasilla's book and say the cost to you is that you share this. Like, I'm willing to plant my flag. In fact, if you don't know I haven't planted my flag by now, I don't know what you've been looking at. Okay, I've planted my flag, and I'm willing to be the flag bearer for the truth. I'm willing to be the flag bearer for reclaiming and restoring masculinity. And I would ask that you stand with me, that you stand shoulder to shoulder with me or behind me and support me, whatever that looks like. But if you're just tuning in and you're being a casual, passive observer in what is going on in society today, then I'm not going to say you're part of the problem, but you're certainly not any resistance against it. Share, guys. Share this message. Share this podcast. It's as simple as grabbing out your phone, taking a screenshot of you listening to this podcast right now, and sharing it on your social media platforms, or shooting out a text to your brother or your colleague or your employer or employee or whoever it is that you're dealing with and say, hey, have a listen to this podcast. This guy doesn't get 100% right, which I know, but he's got some good ideas. He's got some things that'll make us think a little bit. And that's what I want us to do, guys. I want us to think, and I want us to engage, and I want us to live our lives righteously, and I want us to honor our commitments to our neighbors, our kids, our wives. I want us to honor those commitments so that we can build up credibility and authority and influence in those people's eyes, so that we can lead them to a place they could not have imagined going on their own. And isn't that what leadership is? Leadership is about helping people get to a place that they could not have gone on their own, or they could not have even imagined going on their own. And that's your job. That is your job. If you're a man, that's your job. Your job is to protect, provide, and preside. We've been talking about that exact message for 6 years. It has not changed. It has not wavered. It will never waver. So we've got courses. We've got this podcast. We've got our exclusive brotherhood, the Iron Council. We've got merchandise. Now, you might say to yourself, well, how does merchandise fit into this thing? A couple different ways. The merchandise that we offer, specifically the battle planner and also the battle planning app that will be launched in 2021, is an opportunity not only for us to get some revenue so that we can continue to do what it is we're doing and then expand, and I'll talk with you about that in a minute, but that you can get the tools that you need to thrive and to lead the people that you're called to lead well. That's how the merchandise helps. You look good, you feel good, you're wearing stuff that has a message, but also you're supporting what we're doing here. I've also got some partners that I'm going to be working with as we roll into 2021, where we're going to be doing summits and we're going to be doing virtual conferences. There's one individual I'm talking with in particular, Larry Hagner with a Good Dad Project. A lot of you guys know who he is. I just sent him a text this morning and I said, hey, I want to talk with you in early January and I want to talk with you about doing a father-son summit where we're going to give you and your sons and get your sons involved, actually. It's not just going to be a bunch of dads yapping at each other. We're getting the boys involved, and we're going to talk, and we're going to communicate, and we're going to meet shoulder to shoulder, and we're going to challenge each other, specifically with unique challenges that you'll be able to offer and present to your boys. And we're going to hold each other accountable, and it's not going to be pretty at times because some of you guys will slack off, and some of your boys will slack off, but this is what men need. So we've got that coming down the line. We've also got events that we're going to be doing. And we've been doing events for the past several years. I want to actually get international as well, so be on the lookout for that. But we're going to be doing our Uprising event, which is specifically designed for men. We have 28 roughly men come in, and we push you, and we challenge you physically, mentally, emotionally. We give you the tools that you need to thrive. This isn't military boot camp like a lot of these organizations will do. And there's value in that, I think. But this is more meaningful. This is more significant. This is more in depth. And I'm not going to beat the shit out of you physically for 3 days, although there are going to be some physical requirements. I'm going to challenge your mind, your body and your mind and your soul. You're going to band with other men who are on the same path as you. We've also got our legacy event. I've got this barn that we bought here in about a year and a half ago. And we've been pouring tens of thousands of dollars into getting this barn where it needs to be so that we can host these events at our property. We're going to be doing the legacy event, which is a father-son event. In fact, I think I have, you can see right here, I've got my legacy shirt on. I think this one is from 2018. But we're going to be doing father-son events called the legacy event, where you're going to bring your boy, 20 men and 20 boys, and you're going to be challenged in very much the same way, physically, mentally, emotionally. And I'm going to give you and your son the tools and the frameworks that you need to thrive in your life, that you need to usher your son into manhood. And isn't that what you want to do for your boy? You don't want him to be a perpetual boy. You want to coach him. You want to instruct him. You want to father him so that he will become his own man. No king has two kingdoms. No kingdom has two kings. No kingdom has two kings. You're not raising your son to co-rule your kingdom. You're raising him to go rule his own kingdom, and I'm going to help you do that. I don't have all the answers. I've got some of the answers. But when we bring 20 men in together, collectively, we can begin to communicate and articulate and walk the path that we're meant to walk as fathers. Guys, I've got a lot of things planned. And ultimately, my goal, as I said earlier, and as I titled this podcast, is to enlist an army and mobilize an army of men who are moral, who know right from wrong, who are capable, they have the skill sets, who are strong enough to share their convictions. And I think that's what we need in society right now. We've heard from a lot of these loudmouths over here who are talking about these fringe ideas that frankly aren't good for society. Socialism, for example. It's not good for society. Now, they'll paint it that way. The undermining and dismissal of masculinity, that's not good for society. It makes us weaker. It makes us more pathetic. It makes us more vulnerable to outside threats. We don't want that. We want to be sovereign. We want to be strong. We want to be capable. And what I need you guys to start doing as we roll into 2021 is start talking. Start opening your mouths. Start engaging the way that men engage. You know, it's very convenient. And I've done this. I'm not pointing fingers. I've done this. It's very convenient to look and poke and point at what's going wrong and hope that somebody else will solve the problems. Guys, nobody else is going to solve our problems. Nobody else is going to solve the problem of a generation of fatherless homes. Nobody's going to solve the problem of spineless cowards in our quote-unquote leadership, our political leadership. No one else is going to do that. You know who's going to do that? I'm going to do that. You're going to do that. And I'm going to do it on my end. And while you do it on your end, it's my goal to give you what you need to be able to do that. But this is what society needs. We've lost our way. We've confused and redefined generally what it means to be a man. We've forgotten the power and the strength that comes from committing to a woman and being connected with her and having children with her and raising those kids in righteousness and strength. We've told women for decades now that they need to, in order for them to be valuable, they have to be men. And what a sad thing. What a sad thing that a woman believes or has begun to believe that she has to be a man in order to be valuable. I made a post on Twitter the other day, and I think I was talking about men starting a side business right now because, well, and here's another point. You know, it's important that you start a side business, that you have additional income outside of your employment, because I think fast approaching are the days where you'll be asked to jeopardize and compromise with your morals by your employer. I don't want you to have to be in that boat. I don't want you to have to say, well, you know, I got to put food on the table. I get that. But I don't want you to have to be in that position where you have to jeopardize and compromise your morals or your standards in order to do that. So I said something along the lines of start a business, and someone said to me, well, what about women? Well, what advice would you have for women? And my advice was to find a strong, moral, capable man, like we're doing here, leading, giving advice, sharing information so that you can do the same in your own community, in your own life, and have lots of babies and raise those children and turn that house into a home. And I told my wife, or she saw it the other day, and she's like, I can't believe you said that. I said, why? Is it wrong? She's like, no, it's not wrong. It's 100% right. I just can't believe you said it. That's because everybody's so afraid of sharing what needs to be shared. And the only ones that are now sharing are the loudmouths, the obnoxious people, the misguided people, the people that are broken and confused and frustrated and frankly angry and potentially hurt. That's not me. But I'm willing to share, and I need you to share, guys. I need you to put yourself out there. I need you to share the importance of family. I need you to share the importance of masculinity and men in society. I need you to share the concept of standing up for what is good and right. I need you to become capable of being able to stand up for what is good and right. Because if you're compromised financially, for example, let's say, or emotionally or physically or mentally, you're compromised, then you can't stand up for what's right. If you're fat and you're out of shape, or you're broke and in debt, or physically or mentally or emotionally, spiritually, you're broken, you can't serve yourself. You can't serve other people. So a lot of guys ask me how we've been able to have so much success with Order of Man. And it would be easy for me to say, well, the reason we've had so much success is because I do such a good job. But maybe there's some truth to that. I feel like I do a pretty decent job. But I think the bigger reason why we've had so much success is because I happen to be in the right place at the right time, and I'm well equipped. I'm ready. I'm prepared. I was prepared. And I was in the right place at the right time. And I had no idea in 2015, March of 2015, when we started this organization, so we're coming up on 6 years now, I had no idea how relevant and important the work of reclaiming and restoring masculinity would be. I had no idea how spineless and cowardice our elected, quote unquote, leaders would be. I had no idea how hurt people were. I had no idea about the gross epidemic of fatherless homes. I had no idea how many people were broken in society. But what I do know is that it takes a man to be able to mend what is happening. And guys, this isn't about forcing our masculinity upon everybody. It's about harnessing our masculinity into what I call manliness. It's taking that raw testosterone and the urges and the desires that we have and refining them and chipping away and honing them and using them as tools to produce effective outcomes for ourselves, for our family members. And by the way, this is the right order. For ourselves first, for our family members, for our immediate neighbors, for our neighborhood, for our community, and for our country. It takes men to do that. And that's the kind of man I'm trying to become. And that's the kind of man I want you to become. We've got a cultural war. There's people that don't believe in individual responsibility, personal accountability, that everybody else owes them something, that they're automatically, just because they're here, a victim of something that they can't quite wrap their heads around. We've got chaos in the streets. We've got pandemonium. We've got a response to COVID that is completely irrational and not conducive to our broad and general health. And we have a bunch of spineless cowards dictating the tone and the direction of the way in which we live our lives and lead our families and serve our communities. So as we roll into 2021, Order of Man is going to be the premier destination, the premier source of information for men who want to be men. And I don't think we'll agree on everything. I know we won't, in fact. But if you believe in individual responsibility, you believe in personal accountability, you believe in making yourself a sovereign man, if you want to know more about what that means, then go read the book I wrote a couple of years ago called Sovereignty, The Battle for the Hearts and Minds of Men. You believe men are valuable, and not just valuable, but instrumental in a healthy society. You believe in adding value to the interactions that you have, whether they're professional or personal. You believe in strength. You believe in moral decency. You have a spine. Then this is the place for you. And we're going to do this together. I've never positioned myself as the guy who knows it all. People will ask, well, what makes you the epitome of masculinity? I'm certainly not. But I have a desire and I have a willingness. It's the only thing that makes me qualified to do this work. A desire to do it and a willingness to put myself out there. And I've put myself out there. And I hear from people every day who hate what we're doing and think I'm a misogynist and think everything else under the sun about me. But I know that we're on the right path. And I know you want to be here. So how do you support what we're doing, guys? The easiest way is to take a screenshot of this video or this audio that you're watching or listening to now and share it on your social media platforms. Next, support our store. Buy a $20 t-shirt, because that $20 is then turned into revenue for us, and then we can invest in the resources we need to expand our capabilities, to have more influential people on the podcast, to create new opportunities and new offerings for you that will serve you well. Next, I would say buy our courses and our programs. The Iron Council, which is our exclusive brotherhood. I think we have 750 plus guys in there right now. Other courses, one-off courses that we'll have. We did a tribe builder course. We've done a social media course. We've done some other things that'll help you lead your families effectively. We're going to have some of these free digital courses available, like leading your family and your sons, and we're going to have that available. And then look into our events. The Uprising, the Legacy, the Main Event. We've got 3 or 4 different events that we run every single year. But guys, we're going to blow this up in 2021. Not only because that's what I want to do and that's what I commit to doing, because that's what the world needs. That's what America needs. That's what your family needs. That's what our children need. And our politicians need to understand that I have, with the help of you, enlisted and mobilized an army of men who aren't going to put up with this bullshit anymore and who are going to step up and stand up and do what's right and have a spine and have courage. And when there's millions and millions of men who are willing to do that through not only the work that we're doing here, but other things that you are involved in, we become unstoppable and we become a better country and we become a better people because of it. And I'm honored that you're here. I'm honored that you listened in 2020, that you purchased our products, that you got involved in our courses, that you're part of the Iron Council, that you're following us and engaging and adding value in social media. I grew up in a home where I didn't have a permanent father figure in my life, and I've had to figure a lot of this stuff out on my own. And I can't tell you how many messages I get on a daily basis from guys who are like, yeah, I grew up without a dad, or I had this going on or that going on, and I'm addicted to drugs or alcohol or pornography, or I'm 100 pounds overweight and I can't leave my family and my wife is leaving me. We can fix this together, guys. We can fix this. I have some of the answers for you because I've been through it. I've experienced it firsthand. And if I haven't, somebody in our organization has and can share that with you. But in order to do that, we need to enlist an army and mobilize an army of men who are bold and courageous and moral and capable, who are going to go out into the world and do what's right. Not what's popular, not what's easy, not what's going to get them the accolades from all the other degenerates, but what's good and what's right and what's true. If you're on board, welcome. If you're not on board, get on board or go somewhere else. Because I'm going to take some more hardline stances when we move into 2021. That's going to rub some of you the wrong way, and you know what? I've come to terms with that. I'm not going to mince words. I'm not going to pretend situations are something different than what they actually are. This is dire. This is important. I'm doing important work. You're doing important work by being here. Not only by being here, but by raising your families, by leading in your communities, by serving in your businesses, and by doing well. So, stay tuned. Subscribe. Leave a rating and review. That's another great way to give back. But make sure you subscribe, because I'm telling you, 2021, as we move into the first quarter, we've got some phenomenal guests. We've got some exciting new announcements, including, in fact, I'll just pull up my phone here for you real quick so I can show you something. I don't know if you can see that. If you can't see that because you're listening to the audio, then consider going to YouTube. Right there, I don't know if you can see it, right there is the Order of Man Battle Planning app. That's going to be available soon. First quarter of 2021. We got a lot going on, guys. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're tuned in. Let's get this going. This is the year. 2021 is the year. I'm going to continue to add value. I ask that you share, contribute, add value in return, and we'll do this together. I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. I got some stuff figured out. You've got some stuff figured out. Let's join forces. Let's work together. Between all of us working together, we'll get this thing nailed down. All right, guys. Have a Merry Christmas. We're rolling into 2021. Think about what you want to accomplish. There's a great program that we have available right now, by the way. It's called the Battle Ready Program. It's a free program. Sign up for it. You'll get a series of emails over a course of 30 days that are going to help you learn all of the stuff that's going to help you accomplish what it is we talked about today. So if you're interested in that, go to orderofman.com/battleready. orderofman.com/battleready. Don't send me an email and say, oh, I couldn't figure it out. Like, just go to that site and scroll down, read what it is, and sign up right on there, okay? If you didn't get an email from me immediately when you signed up, you probably signed up in the wrong place. So go to orderofman.com/battleready, read what it is, scroll down. There's a little sign-up form. Sign up. You'll start getting those emails immediately. All right, guys, let's get after it. We're enlisting and mobilizing an army of moral and capable men. We're going to do this big in 2021. I want you to be part of it. All right, guys, until then, go out there, take action, and become the man you are meant to be.